What's up, everybody? Rothstein here, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson, a.k.a. Bay O Wolf, a.k.a. Malcolm Excellence, a.k.a. or it could be Malcolm Existential, a.k.a. Hacksaw Jim Thuggin, a.k.a. Yves Saint Croissant. Today's Friday, December 12th, 2025. Please like and subscribe to the video, to the channel. Leave comments on the video. Share this video and this channel. Because today I got a little rant, talk a little shit. But Sunday we will have NFL action. I just Monday night and Thursday and yesterday, like it just didn't feel like it. Just like I wasn't getting into those games. Only thing I was gonna take was Baker for 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he did hit, but I'm gonna take that. The quarter. If you're a legitimate quarterback in the NFL against not too strong of a defense, but solid, I'm gonna take you for 2 touchdowns. More than likely. But I digress. So I don't want to talk about that today. I want to talk about this Michigan coach scandal. Michigan football coach, Sherron Moore, African American man. That is important to highlight in this story, especially this video. But he was fired with cause by the University of Michigan. According to reports, the Coach Moore was involved with the Michigan football staffer, his underling, and involved in an inappropriate relationship, sexual. And that's pretty much what got him fired. He forfeits $25 million. His contract was $25 million. He had been coach for a year or two, so he's forfeiting $15 to $20 million. For some ass. He paid $10 to $15 million for some ass. From what I heard, I don't know how true this is, but what I heard that what happened was a Plan B pill had got delivered somewhere that they could trace it back to him being involved in it, and it was just like, well, damn, he's married. Already got a couple kids, according to reports. Married to a couple of kids. And so he's messing around on his underling. And that's where he fucks up at. He fucked with his underling. Like, that shit's over. That, fucking the boss's wife or fucking the boss's secretary and all that shit. Like, that shit's over. You can't do that anymore. In the 50s, 60s, and after, up until like really the last 5-10 years, it was not uncommon to hear about, guys, knocking off their secretaries and whatnot. Even female bosses are doing that to their male underlings and whatnot. But, we're talking about men on there messing around on with their female underlings. Is like, you can't stop. That shit's dead, man. That's where he fucked up at. Now, where we as the general public are fucking up at is trying to say what we would have done in that situation. Shannon Sharp said it best. And God love him because he admitted, hey, he had a situation 6-7 months ago. Hell, I've admitted I had a situation I was dealing with a woman I worked with. Well over 10 years ago, almost 15 years ago. And you don't know what you're going to do until you're in that situation. You're at work and whatnot, and every time she comes back, she's giving you that, can I suck your dick look? It's like, you got to be very principled and moral to not fall into it. Like Jason Whitlock said, he stayed away from Joy Taylor because he knows him and he knew what she was about. I'm not going to say he was moral, had very, very high morals, but he was at least principled enough to know that, like, if I get involved with her, I'm going to say something foul. She's incredible looking, got peanut butter skin and a nice rack. I'm going to say something crazy and be fucked up. Coach Moore, same thing. I don't know. The woman seems to have a decent looking face. Looks very similar to his wife. If these are the two pictures that I saw, his wife's a white, tall, blonde lady. This staffer, she was a blonde lady with long hair too. Both had long hair, and it was just like, that's part of it though. We hate that race aspect of everything, but that's part of it. He's out here. Pardon me, folks. He's out here, taking down everything white in sight. That's part of it. You can't do that. Because stereotypes, the reason why people hate stereotypes is because there's a hint of truth to them. And you fit every stereotype, knocking down everything white. You got insatiable sex appetite as a black man and all this shit. You can't stay faithful to your wife. Just all that shit just falls into that, and you just fit it for them. So some of the shit like Jamil Hill said a couple things. Ryan Clark, those two, of course, just because that's what they do, racialize, extra racialize everything. Sometimes they'll bring out the hidden aspects of it, but a lot of times it's just they're extra radicalizing it by radicalizing the race aspect in it. And now this is just his own lack of dick control. Because he's spraying raw dog in them and he's spraying in them and got her pregnant. Allegedly got her pregnant. And just, yeah, it's just that shit, that lack of dick control, it's gonna cost you in the end. Trust me. Trust Shannon Sharp. Trust Mel Tucker, the Michigan State coach. What was that, a year or two ago? He up there getting, knocking off another white lady, but he was married to a black lady at home, knocking off some random white lady. She wasn't really random. Like the program supposedly worked with her somehow about raping and all that type of shit, about raping women, how to prevent that stuff and, keep getting yourself jammed up. She was like supposed to be doing like some real good, contract work with the school when Mel Tucker got jammed up. And then, Ryan Clark, like I said, he was bringing up some stuff about Bobby Petrino when he got into the situation up at Arkansas. And if I'm not mistaken, ain't Bobby Petrino back? Didn't he come back this year to Arkansas? And that shit happened probably 10, 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, because it was when Mike Vick was like a rookie or a first-year, second-year player, because Petrino originally left Louisville to go coach the Atlanta Falcons. And then Mike Vick got caught up with the dog shit. And yeah, just all type of shit. And so yeah, then Petrino went back to college, went to Arkansas, then within like 2 years, that shit happened with him, on a bicycle. He was in the press conference with a neck roll on and shit, neck brace on. It was like crap. Scars on his face, bruises. It was wild. But 20 years later, now he's back there. This has nothing to do with Sherron Moore has nothing to do with that. What's going on to him in Michigan has nothing to do with Bobby Petrino. But at the same time, okay, if you want to use it, you can't even use it as a comparison. Those are different states, different employers. You can't it is what it is. Sherron Moore got to have better dick control. That's all. And yes, we have to be understanding, as black men, we have to understand that, like, hey, whether we like it or not, game is played a little differently. We're looked a little more tight. The rules are slightly different for us. Not egregiously different, but they are different. And we can still play and do well in the parameters that are set for us, even though they're slightly different for our white male counterparts. It just is what it is. It's going to remain that way. Unless something drastic, that you don't even expect. So it's just basically just keep your eyes on it, keep your head on swivel. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes moving and just do the right things and you'll be fine. Because when they can get you, they will. So, yeah, man. I don't get like the racial aspect of it. I mean, I understand it's underlying, but like, you know, the stuff that Ryan Clark and Jamil Hill are talking about as far as this goes is like, at some point you got to just kind of take him. This is so isolated. It didn't have to happen. He could have done this. You know, he didn't have to do this. This is all on him. Forfeiting that type of money. Mel Tucker, I want to say forfeited like $90 million or so. He forfeited like way more. Mel Tucker did. It was just like, damn, y'all. The two biggest schools in Michigan had the two last coaches were black male with lack of dick control. You know, yeah, I mean, that was, you know, Rick Pitino Sr., you know, with the woman down in Louisville, you know, got him jammed up. I mean, just, you know, men just have to, men, not just black men, but all men, we got to exercise better dick control. Because I understand, Pitino, like, and that woman got busy in a restaurant or something. Like, what? Like, but that's the thing about the Michigan scandal. Like, they supposedly knew about this. From what I hear, as far as a year ago, according to Jason Whitlock, and until he retracts that, if he was going to, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, as of right now, I've heard Jason Whitlock say maybe as long as a year ago, and they were willing to hold on to this until he, you know, basically he just lost to Ohio State. 2 weeks ago, they supposedly knew about it back then, or somewhere. Like, this is supposed to, basically what I'm saying is Michigan's supposedly known about this situation with Coach Moore for quite some time, and they just now decided to act on it, you know, right after he loses to Ohio State. And again, that's college football for you. You know, do whatever, lose to the rival, we gonna have a talk. And yeah, so yeah, just all the opinions of Sherron Moore, all boils down to, I don't give a fuck about none of that other shit. It's just underlined. It may be part of the conversation, but the reason, his own lack of dick control. And pause for every time I said that. Probably said it 100 times on this video. I do apologize. But yeah, holla at me in the comments. What you think? Is this more of a race issue? Should black men understand? Like, you're playing in a different you're playing with a different set of rules. Be more careful. Just, you know, what do you think about this whole thing? And do you believe that Michigan's held on to this for quite some time? Leave comments and I'll holler. Peace.